In today's class, we are going to learn advanced JSX components in React programming. We'll see some of the best components which is used in React is first is we'll see fragments, and second we'll see conditional rendering, and then we have high order components, and then we can create dynamic components using this React JSX, and then we have the render props, lazy loading, JSX with context API, and then we have the portals, error boundaries, and events. Already we have seen the events in the previous session, but in this session we are not going to see the events. Remaining we'll see the advanced JS components. First we'll see fragments. A fragment is nothing but, we already seen in the first session itself, the fragments is nothing but JSX allows returning only one parent element, but fragments allow grouping child elements without adding extra HTML tags. So in React, a parent it can have only one parent element. If you want group all the elements in a single thing, you can use fragment tag. I'll show you what is a fragment tag and why fragments are used. It is used for avoiding unnecessary DOM elements, reducing HTML nesting. So these are the two advantages of using fragments. We'll see an example of the fragments. Okay, so I'll show you the example of fragments one. First we'll see JSX1. This is actually a fragment. You can see here, this is the fragment symbol. So this symbol is nothing but it's a fragment symbol. Suppose you want to in React, usually it can have only one parent tag like this, div, and then it should close with the div. Okay, so you can have only one parent tag. You cannot have multiple div like this, div and div. So like this you cannot have it. So this is not allowed if you don't use fragments. If you remove fragments, it will throw errors. So fragments are used for grouping elements. So this one group, this is second group. For that purpose only we are using this fragment. Fragment is an element for grouping all the divs, because in React a div can only have only one parent element. Okay, only one parent element. I'll run this program. You can see the output here, npm start. It takes time, so that I will be continuing with the session now. So this is, we call it as fragment. So fragment is nothing but arrow mark gets less than symbol and ends with this symbol. So this is called as fragments. Okay, that's the advanced JSX. Okay, next we'll see conditional rendering with ternary and short circuit operators. Conditional rendering is nothing but refreshing the page. A portion of the page can be refreshed. So each time a page can be rendered. Rendered means keep on refreshing. Ternary operator, you know, ternary operator is nothing but a question mark colon. That is a ternary operator. And then we have the short circuit operators like double ampersand, double R symbol, double piping symbol. That is called as short circuiting operators. What is the use of conditional rendering with the ternary and short circuit operators? Simplify the component logic by embedding conditional statement inside the JSX. We can add a conditional statement inside the JSX. Then we can use a ternary operator and the short circuit operator. Ternary operator displays different content based on a condition. Short circuit operator render only if the condition is true. I'll show you the example of the ternary and short circuit operators. You can see JSX2 file. You can see here. So this is question mark colon. This is conditional rendering. If is logged in is true, this portion will be displayed. If this is logged in is false, this portion will be displayed. Okay, so this is how the conditional rendering happens. This is one of the advanced JSX components. Normally it will not occur in the other advanced JavaScript. This only works only in React. And then we have the short circuit operators, double ampersand. Double ampersand means this hash unread is the true or false. If it is true, this will be displayed. This statement will be displayed. This dashboard, this line will be displayed. If the hash unread is false, this line will not be displayed. So this double ampersand is called as short circuit operators. Okay. So other short circuit operators we have, that is called as double piping symbol. This is OR, that is for AND. This is actually called as AND operator, that is double ampersand. And then we have the piping symbol, this is for OR operator. So this is the short circuit operators where this will run immediately. Okay, this is the another example of JSX components, advanced JSX 2. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the next one, JSX spread operator. A spread operator can be used in JSX to pass multiple props or attributes at once. So, three dot. Already we have seen that in some of the counters we use this previous count and all, we will be using a right? Three dots. That is called as previous count. Previous state. Actually mostly this three dot operator is used for previous state. Okay, I'll show you the example of this previous state. Go to JSX 3. You can see here button props. Okay, this is one of the advanced JSX component. So this is called as spread operators. So whenever you call this button is the, it is a button is a tag, and then it's end with a button. It displays a button with a submit button, and then we can use this button props here. This button props is nothing but, you can see here button props. Type equal to submit, class name is equal to button primary, disabled equal to true. So multiple values can be shown using this spread operators. Okay. So like this we can define the spread operators here. Type equal to submit, class name is equal to button primary, disabled equal to true. Disabled means that button will be disabled. Okay, the button is type will be submit. If you say submit, the page will be submitted. Class name is nothing but, it is the color will be shown here. Okay, so this is one of the advanced JSX component. So this three dot is nothing but, this is the spread operators. So button props is the button props we have defined here, and then we have given the parameters, different attributes. So for displaying the multiple attributes we are using this. For multiple props or multiple attributes. Multiple props or multiple attributes at once. So you can see here multiple props or multiple attributes can be used for spread operators. And also we will be using this spread operator for the previous state. Okay, it will show the previous state value. And next we will move on to the next one, JSX children as a function. Children in JSX can be a function allowing you to render dynamic content based on conditions or data passed on. So you can use children as a function. I will show you the example so that you can understand very easily. So I will go to JSX 4. You can see here. Okay, here you can see here render children, and then I am displaying rendering a function as a child. Okay, this render children will be called here. This tag will be called here inside this, and this will display this div tag. If the type of children is function, then it will display children. Otherwise, it will display the property props. Okay, so what he has given here. So children in JSX can be a function or allowing to render a dynamic content based on the conditions or data passed down. Okay, so it can be a function. The render children can be a function, or it can be a dynamic content based on condition. So if it is a function, children will be called as a function. If the type of children is not a function, this prop, it will be called as props. Okay. So render children h1 render for function as a child. We'll see this. What will be the output of this JSX4? Okay, I'm just running this app.js, and then I'm calling this JSX4 here. Okay, I'm just calling this, what is that value? JSX4. And JSX4 is nothing but main app. Okay, I'm calling this main app here. I don't want to call it inside this main app. It should call, we are here, we can call it here. You can say main app here. Actually, it throws the error here. What is the throw error? App enclosing tag. Do you want JSF fragment? Okay. Where is the error now? Use for profile. Oh, this should be inside that main app. We'll choose it here. Okay. I'm just opening it here. Unexpected token. I'm just opening this JSX4 here. We have to import that, right? Import main app. Okay, now it works. We'll see the output here. What will be the output? Render from child as a child. Okay, rendering a function as a child. So it is rendering as a function. If you go to JSX4, you can see here, this is calling as a function, so it is rendering as a child. So if it is a function, children will be called. The function will be called. Okay, so it is running as a function here. Render function as a child. Okay. Thank you. 1 minute. Next we will see higher order components. That is called as HOC. A higher order components is a function that takes a component and returns a new component with additional props or logic. So higher order components is, we have two components here, a parent component and a child component. A parent component will take one component and returns a new component with a different logic or a different props value, Okay, we'll see the example for that. Okay, I'll show you the example, JSX5. You can see here, this is the example for the higher order components. I'll show you the example here. So you can see here function small app. I'm just calling this button with the logging label equal to click me. Okay, so this button logging will be called here. This button logging is calling this with login. This is the HOC. With HOC means this with logging is the HOC component. You can see here, this is a wrapped component. So returns wrapped component dot props. Console log rendering with returns a function enhance components props. Console log returns wrapped component, then props. The props will be button props. So that props will be passed here. That props will be shown here. Okay, this will display a props here. That is called button. Okay. So button is the tag which will be shown. I'll run this program and show you. JSX5 will say small app. Go to app.js. Run this small app. Okay. I'm just saying say import small app. Okay, JSX5. Okay, I'm removing this JSX. I'm running this JSX4. I'm just running the small app here. We'll see the output for this. It throws error, button is not found. We'll import the button now. We'll say React button. I think we need a React component for that. We'll import that button here. I think we will import in the JSX file itself, because here only it says a button is not proper defined. We'll say import button. Import button bootstrap. I think it's for running from bootstrap, or you can call it from React also, React bootstrap or React DOM. React DOM doesn't have the button. We'll use other component, import button from React bootstrap. Okay, we'll try with the React bootstrap and we'll run this program and see what will be the output. You can see the button here, right? So if we switch to doc theme, you can see here doc theme. Actually, this is the button. It will be shown wrapped component with the props. You can see the console log here. The console log will be shown here, rendering with the props. So it will show the object label click me. Actually, this click me is showing a small here. The color is not shown here. Okay, I'll show the click me here. Why it is not displaying click me? It should show the label here. I'm just checking out. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. I'll find out what is the issue here. So in next class I'll show you what is the issue here. Okay, so this is about higher order components. Higher order component means, let me repeat once again. This is one component. Inside that we are calling that with logging is another component, where it returns one button here. Okay, so higher order component is nothing but it will call a new component, will pass a new one component. It will return a new component with properties and functions. Okay, so like that we can use HOC. HOC is higher order components. In next class we'll see more briefly about the HOC component. Okay, next we'll see render props. Render props is one of the advanced JSX components. Render props is a pattern or sharing logic between components using prop whose value is a function. I'll show you what is render props here. Go to JSX 6. You can see here render props here. So what is render prop actually? You can see here a mouse tracker is used. This is a main app, main function render app. A mouse tracker is used. A mouse tracker is called here. That is class mouse tracker extends React component. That class is ending here. Actually, class should not be used in the functional components, but as an example I am showing here render props for this. Okay, this mouse tracker here is used, and it has a constructor, and then it has a handle mouse, and then it has a render function. Okay, in this class mouse tracker class we have the on mouse move, a mouse event is fired, and the props value is passed here. So this is the props value, render xyy. Okay, so that xyy value will be displayed here. I'll run this program and show you, then you can understand. Render app. So I'm just opening the app.js, saying that render app. Okay, so the render app will be called here. When I'm running this program, you can see here React is not defined in JSX 6. So I have not imported that React here. I'm just importing the React here. Import React. I'll say import React. Okay, I'm running this. I'm getting the output here. You can see the output here. Mouse position. You can see the mouse position here. Okay, able to see the mouse position here? It's changing, right? So this is called as render props. So what is render props? Whenever I am moving this position, this render will happen. This will call this mouse tracker class function. This render function will happen. So this will show the x and y value. So you'll get x and y value. So how this excel value is stored? First it stores the state value here. That state value, this prop dot standard, this start state. So x and y value will be keeps on changing when there is a mouse move event. So on mouse move, this handle mouse movement will be called, and the state value will be keeps on changing, x and y value. That x and y value will be displayed here. So this is called as render props. Okay. So this is an example of render props. And next we will move on to the next title, lazy evaluation, JSX lazy evaluation. You can dynamically import components and use them within JSX to enable code splitting. So we'll see what is this lazy explanation with an example. Is mainly used for importing the components, and then you can do enable code splitting. Okay, we'll see the example now. We'll go to JSX 7. So you can see here a lazy component is loaded here. That lazy component, I have declared here lazy component react.lazy import lazy component. Okay. So this is how the lazy component is imported. I think we'll stop from here and we'll continue in the next class. Thank you for the session.